You can go ahead and tell them who we are.
Well, you can call me Smith, and you can call me James. You
I'm
can
going to
call
call
me,
you Tex.
but you doesn't have to call me Johnson. You remember that? The guy on Life In.
Nah, I never watched Life In.
All that, and he said, then you get in, and he says, but you doesn't have to call me Johnson.
I didn't watch Life In much. I was a student at the time.
Well,
I didn't have a television.
How about that? Hey, folks, we want to welcome you to the Wild Bob and Ronnie Show here on UG TV. We're here at 7 o'clock coming to you from Lafayette, Tennessee, US of A. All you people out
right
there.
in the bowels of beautiful downtown
all you people
Lafayette.
out there is eating the pastrami and all that stuff down in Italy. We want to welcome you and say, Mamma Mia.
Are we in the bowels of beautiful downtown Lafayette?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. But folks, we want to welcome you here. We had a good week despite all the rain and everything, you know.
It's good for roofing.
Huh?
It's good for the roofing business.
Is that right? Good for electricity.
Yeah, it is. Reckon we'll get a break or not?
I doubt it. Very sure. It don't filter down this far, you know.
It don't trickle down?
And there's no trickle down.
What do you got there, Bob? What you got?
I've got in last Thursday's press, they printed a copy of the Campbell County, Tennessee proposed budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2014. That meant it ran from the 30th day of last month through June 30th of next year. And
what are they doing now? Operating on a continuing resolution?
I believe what they're doing. Oh, they passed this. Have they passed this budget yet?
I don't know. I don't keep up that
maybe,
stuff.
Maybe they're doing like the federal government. They're operating on a continuing resolution.
Them revolutions.
But, you know, I've looked over this thing, and there's some very interesting figures in here.
What's interesting about it?
Well, one figure that's not in there is very, very interesting. They have no direct amount in the proposed budget for our finance office.
Well, you know, they just count the money. They couldn't use much.
So I think what they do out of this budget, it all comes through the office. They just take out what they want once it comes through, you know. And they must do, because there's nothing in here that says a figure for the Office of Financial Management. I believe that's what you call that thing. Is that me or you, Ring?
That must have been you.
Well, it must be. Let me see what we got here.
It wasn't me.
We might have a call from Afghanistan here.
What about, what's the ambulance service getting? How much is the ambulance service
I'm going to let you, you got your glasses, read that, and you'll see exactly how we
Well, I'm not much of an accountant. I can count my own money.
Let's see what this is here. Oh, I know who that is.
Ambulance
he's
service.
Looking for Holly.
Estimated revenues. Estimated in. Well, let's see. It says here local taxes. Actual estimated. Total estimated revenues.
The total estimated revenue, does that consist also of what taxes we kick in?
Let's see. Local taxes, other sources, total estimated revenues and other sources, 1988, and it's $1,988,026 from estimated revenue. Total, well, it says actual, and okay. Well, it's over my head. You can use the glasses.
Well, what about the ambulance service that now, it looks like to me for this year, 2013, that the county is going to kick in $78,000
That's kind of what I arrived at there.
into running the ambulance service. In other words, they're not operating on a pay-as-you-go basis.
Makes you wonder how a private company like Vital Care could operate without a subsidy, don't it?
Right. Well, that's very true. You know, Vital Care, when they pick somebody up and take them to the hospital or take them to a nursing home or wherever they transport them to, there's absolutely no cost to the citizens of Campbell County.
That's right.
And except the one that's getting driven around, that's going to cost the one that's riding
The one that's
around.
getting hauled around.
But it's supposed to cost anybody that rides around in an ambulance, you know. I know there's probably a certain amount of pro bono work done by the Campbell
Campbell County.
Campbell County ambulance service. They probably picked some up by nature of being a county ambulance services that has no means of ever paying.
Yeah, I understand that.
They like them roadkills.
Yeah,
But
I understand that.
still looks like to me, I believe.
But had we had some foresight and proper management, couldn't at one time what Vital Care is profiting, which they deserve, have been part of one fund and let it all pay for the ones that, the indigents, the one that can't pay?
Well, they should,
And could we not convert the whole thing to private now? And
well, let me ask you something. What does it cost Knox County to operate this ambulance service?
well, I have seen different numbers, but I think that they get paid for that opportunity to provide the patients.
Now, would you think the ambulance company pays the county for?
I think so.
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not either. I've seen it both ways.
Right.
But I'll tell you one thing, as much as rural metro charges, if they're not paying the county's stupid.
Well, look what that picture taking company charges
For
Knoxville to
for collecting them there people for
you know, out of $600,000 the first year, the picture taking company got 400 some thousand. So, and that's when I asked Cliff. Cliff Jennings was wanting to put traffic cameras here, and I asked him if the one here was going to operate like the one in Knoxville, and he said, I hope so. And I said, well, they took in $600 some thousand, and the picture taking company got 400 some thousand, and the county and the city only got 200,000. Cliff said, well, it's all pure profit.
But it took 400,000 out of the county.
Out of the county, out of the state,
out of the city,
out of the nation, really.
Out of the
they
city.
went to Australia. That's where the
What these people don't understand is you're going to have to figure out whether money's flowing in or flowing out. And all this you're going out there and bringing in outside sources to suck your money out ain't helping the people none.
No, that's just like bringing in a big box store.
Yeah, we advertise to get tourists to come down here and bring money in, and then we invite some box store in here to cipher it right back out.
Right, yeah. And they do that. I know that they provide some goods and some services.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Save us money.
But when it's all said and done, after they pay the cost of the buildings and the taxes and the help and purchasing of the goods, what's left over to take out of the county and out of the state.
Well, yeah, and they also get subsidized to begin with. Like we don't have to pay no sales tax for the first.
Talking about subsidizing. let's look at the what do they call it? The Industrial Economic Development Fund, better known as incubation.
Oh.
Okay. Now, I've looked at this and studied it a little bit, and it looks like to me you can cut it up any way you want to. Since they've been in existence, they've spent over $600,000. Now, they supposedly have helped 7 businesses. Now, that's about $100,000 for a business.
I could get started real good with that.
You could incubate the Lord out of me for $100,000. But, I mean, that's the way it looks to me. It looks like...
well, you know, that's how stupid it is. The city of La Follette went out of their way to put you out of business because you were actually bringing money into the county, and then they go out there and subsidize somebody else to get them started in something that's going to fall flat on its face as soon as it's the subsidy's over.
Face, and if it does make
we
it,
are
taking money out of the county.
We are idiots being we are the tit for the smart people, and we're the idiots that's providing the milk.
All right, now here's what they spent. The first year, the incubator fund spent $321,303. The second year, they spent $313,923. Now, they're going to spend less this year because the federal government's contribution is not going to be as great. So they're only going to spend $118,000.
Now here's where we're at. I said when they started this thing that when the subsidy ran out, they'd keep funding it.
They closed it down, yeah.
They've not closed it down. They're funding it.
Oh yeah, well that's true. Well, no, this year they dropped from last year. They spent $313,000. This year they're only spending $118,000.
Well, that's the rent down there, and a couple of people to sit down there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that we're going to keep that up indefinitely because we're fools.
Right. Well, that's what I say. It amounts to say $651,700. Almost $800,000 has been spent to help 7 businesses.
That'll build a doghouse.
You could almost build an animal shelter.
And then you could close it down when you run out of money.
There you go.
By the way, we've been talking about Vital Care here. 562-9370. They good outfit. If you need a ride to the hospital or some sort of medical transport, we highly recommend them because they use their money to fix the flat tires on the ambulances. They don't use your money.
And they keep headlights in.
Yeah, I got headlights in, one on each side or two, whatever.
Yeah.
They good. They don't even have a diesel ambulance that they can drive down to get hot dogs.
That's true.
Vital Care, 562-9370.
They got one new ambulance and they run that thing to death.
I know
that old big ambulance, you know, they just run it to death.
You're talking about Campbell County Ambulance Service.
Yeah.
Not Vital Care.
Now, Vital Care don't use the ambulances to ride around and get hot dogs.
So now we've got that done, and I hope while we're at it, I hope your 4th of July went wonderfully well, and you were supplied with power by Wilson's Propane, 562-5444, right in the middle of the road in Sawmill Holler, because Digger has got what it takes. And by the way, just because you got rained out on the 4th of July, don't mean you won't want to grill some few hot dogs. And
things just looking up. People come by today and I sold them a propane tank. I didn't sell that big one now, I sold them a little one. They wanted a grilling tank.
I got to get that.
Huh?
I got to get that.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, that's a good looking tank.
562-5444. What'd you say you wanted for it?
75. 1 year old.
Just a year old?
Huh?
You got any propane in it? How could
I bought one that was over half full of propane, and I used it all up and then sold it for what more than what I bought.
Hell,
Okay, I want to get back to this little deal with the newspaper on our county budget.
you ain't got your gun with you, do you?
Yeah, dude. You want me to drop it?
No, you done dropped your keys.
My keys?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they won't go off.
Well, I figured the gun is next.
They won't go off. There is nothing in this county budget that shows the expenditure of our finance office. Now, I read to you a report the other day which is reported to the state, and it shows we spent $931,000 last year on the finance office. That's $22 and something per person here in Campbell County, which equates to other counties do it sometimes for $5 per person. Counties that are of similar size to this one here, and with the same duties mandated by the 1981 Financial Management Act. They have the same duties as our finance office does. Now, I told Ronnie, and I wasn't kidding, that they told the state that they spent $931. I maintain
$931,000.
$931,000 to run the finance office. I maintain that if you had close scrutiny of how much money was involved with the finance office, it's going to approach $1.5 million. And there's hardly any way you can cut it back unless you pull out and make them pull out and list in the budget what their expenditures are. Now, the finance office, as far as I know, has no way of making money.
Well, maybe you don't know.
Well,
They're selling electricity.
Huh?
Oh, that's the school department selling
Yeah, the school
electricity.
department there. There should not be any money. Well, actually, the whole county's not supposed to have any way of making money. I don't know whether it would be illegal for the ambulance department to make money or not.
Well, there ain't no danger.
No, we don't have to
We
worry
may
about
tread close, but we'll never step over that line.
But I maintain we need to elect, coming next election, people that will provide some oversight as to the amount of money that's spent by these different departments. There's so much duplicity. You call it duplicity, or you won't call it lying.
Well, duplicity is where two people does the same thing, ain't it?
No, duplicity is where you say one thing and mean something else.
Well, that'll work too.
Yeah. We need some oversight, and I'm going to probably be criticized for the things we need oversight on. First, finance office. You need to break out what they spend. And I think really, since this is the people's money, I think every check that's written should be posted online.
I have said that since before they invented the internet. It ain't gonna happen.
All right. Why were they going to put it online before they put it in?
I thought they ought to have to put it on the in the newspaper.
Well,
I think that once a month we should have had not a picture of the check, but a line item thing, you know.
Yeah, I think so.
Whatever check went for, but it ain't gonna happen. You can forget it.
Every check. Well, if we get people in the county commissioners that demand it.
Well, we've got 10 or 12 down there that ain't down there for nothing but what they can take home with them.
That's exactly right. They
And then we got, included in that is 2 or 3 just plain out damn fools, but they ain't near as dumb as the people that elected them, and that's us.
Right. Well, really, what you need to do in looking at those that you need to elect or re-elect or unelect is, are they involved with the government in any shape, form, or fashion? Whether it be, and I'm not talking about just the bus contracts, I'm talking about people who work for government agencies.
Well, the sad part is some of the ones that stick up for the taxpayers the most are also working for the county.
Well, I know that. I understand that. But that's a rare occasion. That's a rare situation.
I think it ain't. There's about 15 of them down there working for the county.
No, it's a rare situation where they take up for the vote.
Oh, okay.
You've got two. And the third one really does a lot of contract work with the county and that sort of thing. So,
well, first off, it wouldn't be a bad thing to say anybody that is on the county commission can't get any sort of income through his or her direct family from the county. That means if your wife's a school teacher or you drive a school bus or whatever, but that ain't gonna help either.
no.
That's the only reason they go get elected is so they can get
So
on
they
the
get
tip.
their family a job with the county.
Yeah.
So, I understand that. Well, you know, I've tried various things for as helping people in this county.
How'd that work out
And
for you?
It all comes back to the fact you cannot, you might take,
You can't make a silk purse with sow's ear, and you can't help somebody that won't help themselves.
right, well, you can't take Campbell County out of the person. You don't necessarily want to take everything with Campbell County out. I don't mean that, but they just have so many things that limit their thinking, their ability to rise above their normal statute of life. Have you noticed I run a whole bunch off up my place?
No, I didn't know. I wondered how long it'd take you.
Well, you know, I'm slow to anger.
Are they all gone?
All gone.
Well, who told you
They
about
wouldn't know
that?
if you had a house for rent.
No. Who kind of gave you a heads up on that? Do you remember?
Huh?
Do you remember
Oh,
who?
I know that, you know.
We better let that go.
Yeah, well, I know that. It's just no way to help people if they will not help themselves.
Yep. That's right.
But I'll sleep good at night. I try, you know, and it don't bother me one bit. They might bend me, but they ain't gonna break me.
I highly recommend that if you get to needing any parts for your vehicles, you go to Napa Auto Parts. I'm going to have to hunt a donut gasket and find somebody dumb enough to
You
put it
not
on
going
for
to
me.
Krispy Kreme to get it?
No, got to go up to Napa. N-A-P-A, right across from the IGA. See how that rhymes?
Right, yeah.
562, what is it? 9406.
9406 was just what I was getting ready to say.
They got all them there good parts up there. Ain't got no bad parts, they're all good parts.
Is that right? And, you know, if you need some motor oil,
Yeah, good place to buy it.
you know, if your vehicles are self-changing like mine,
I've got a few of them.
you need to go up and see Napa. They got a real sale on motor oil.
They do. Napa, N-A-P-A,
Right.
across
Going
from
up
the
and see Randy,
IGA.
he'll fix you up.
Well, we done that now.
But, you know, we haven't talked about the hardest concrete known to man yet.
That's Dixie concrete.
Huh?
Dixie concrete.
It's got to be Dixie. It's
I
gotta
was
be.
down there at Food City today, just walking around admiring. That's a fine example of
Well, you can't help but admire it when
their
you're down
designer concrete.
there. You just can't help but admire it.
If you think they ain't got pretty concrete, go out Food City, walk around and look at the floor. It looks like marble.
Yeah, it does.
And they got septic systems and rebar
That looks
and
like
sand and
septic
gravels, and they
systems.
look just like septic systems. They got them there boat anchors.
You see a picture of that guy that they caught hiding in the septic tank.
No. What had he done and where did they catch him?
Hey, the police were after him, I believe it was, and He's 24 or 34 years old, I forgot. And they found him hiding in the septic.
Did he go?
You know, most people, I don't tell you here, most people don't realize it, but all septic tanks are designed to stay full of water.
And other things.
Well, now if it gets too full of sludge and stuff like that, you need to have it pumped. But they know that people don't know anything about a septic tank, so they'll open the top up and say, see there, it's full, you know. That just means it's full of water, and it has to, for it to properly operate, it has to be full of water. And I know I've told you my experience with a septic tank company here, didn't you?
Well, I think so.
My septic tank, you know, set higher than the pipe, and it had to go uphill to get in it. And what it would do, it would clog up at that bend because it had a short L. Okay, I remember the situation by putting a long sweeping L in there, and with a clean out right there. But I've never had to use the clean out since I put that long sweeping L in there. But my wife calls the septic tank company, and they tell her, says, now, you need to go ahead and take the lid off that septic tank so you can take the pressure off of it. Well, what it is, they were just too darn lazy to come out there and dig the top up off the septic tank. It wasn't going to charge nothing less by you doing it, but if you were dumb enough to go out there and do their work and get the dirt off the top of the tank and take that top off for them.
That's crazy.
I know it is. And she told me that. She said, now,
well, the pressure, you wanted more pressure on it.
She said, you need to go out there and take the lid off that septic tank. He told me to get the pressure off the tank. You don't want to know what I said just right off the bat, you know. But then they come out there and they pumped a 1,000-gallon tank. It's my septic tank, 1,000 gallon, and they only had 800-gallon tank on the truck, and they only made one load. So I mean, you know, you can't expect a man doing septic tank work to be good in math. But they had an 800-gallon tank on his truck, because that's one of the few that would go into my carport to get around there to it. You know, of course, he could have come in the other way, but. So he pumped a 1,000-gallon tank with an 800-gallon tank on their truck. Then it
they compacted it.
Then it still didn't unstop the sewer system. Oh, we don't rot anything out. Says all we do is pump the tank. I said, look, I had one pumped down in North Carolina.
Did he tell you to take your tank to North Carolina and get it pumped?
He probably what he was thinking. I said they charged half as much as you charge, and plus they rotted it out and cleared the line for 50 feet. That's how far the septic tank was from the house, because they had to go around that swimming pool right next to the house, and the septic tank had to be on the other side of the swimming pool, unless you wanted something swimming with you. So $96 is what they charged me, and that was just a few weeks before I had this one done.
Yeah.
And they wanted $200 and some just to pump the tank and not even rot out the line. They said, well, you don't know how much they charge to dump this in the sewer system. I said, okay. Then I found out he's dumping it in his field.
That what?
Dumping it in his field.
Oh. Well, he's saving that money.
Huh?
He's saving that money.
He is, but he's charging me while he's saving it.
You know, it's his field. He's got to be compensated.
But that's my involvement with the septic tank pumping system here.
Do you realize that we are allowing the president to decide which laws to enforce and which not to enforce. And if Congress don't do it, he will do it unilaterally. That means do it himself.
Well, if Congress doesn't pass a law, then he'll do it some other way. He'll do it by
executive order.
Regular
or let the EPA do it.
Yeah, let the EPA do it.
We are fools. We're absolute fools.
I know that.
There's no reason for it. Gas went up 10 cents a gallon today. There's no reason for that. Right now we're subsidizing and mandating that they use ethanol in gas, which is causing food prices to go up, causing meat and poultry and everything.
Right, yeah.
And
dog food's gone up on how much a pound?
Causing all that to go up. At the same time, it's causing the gas prices to go up, and it's damaging your motor.
Right. Well, you take prior to Obama taking office, dog food was running about 21 cents a pound. It's now over 50 cents a pound.
Yes, sir.
Looks like we're going to have to start eating Chihuahua over rice.
Well, I figure I'll eat my lawnmowers for Thanksgiving and get me some more.
My lawnmowers, when I got out to the farm, had to open the gate, were there in the front yard mowing grass.
Well, I kind of trained mine about my electrical fence there in a little area, and they got so good at cutting the yard, I had to expand them.
Right.
Now I've got them more in the front yard and the backyard.
Right.
And they just as averse to a string as they are wire.
I'm gonna put an electric wire on the inside of my fence, till I get used to the wire, and then I'm gonna fence in another section down there.
I'm just tickled to death. I've got a lawnmower for sale. And I'll never buy another as long as I can keep a goat.
Right. Don't blame me one bit.
I mean, they just are doing a wonderful job. The only thing they don't eat to my satisfaction are stickweeds. I can cut them down with them there weed whackers, with them doohickeys right quick.
Right.
Or just leave them there, use them for, just ornamentals.
Decoration.
I think everybody ought to have a couple of weed eaters.
Yeah.
Depends on the size of your yard. You may need one, you may need 4 or 5, but
Right.
a man that'd buy a lawnmower and pass up a goat is foolish.
Especially the way gasoline keeps going.
Yeah, the thing about it is, you can have you 2 or 3 good lawnmowers, and you can eat some of the little lawnmowers for Christmas,
Yeah. And there's nothing better than a young veal goat.
Well, I've got to find me a nanny to work on this process a little.
Eat one of them others. You better cause that boy to lose his standing in the community if you want to eat the meat.
Well, I ain't going to eat them 2 out there.
All you got to do is just find you a barrel run in him. If you hold his legs up, I'll work on it.
I ain't. And them 2 good lawnmowers, I want to treat them right. I need.
You ain't working on the lawnmower then.
Well, I am if I eat them.
I'm talking about if you work on the other end.
I know that, but I want some to mow the yard too. And
well, if you steer a cow, he becomes an ox. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know oxen were by steers by definition. I thought they could also be bulls.
No, they're steers.
Okay. That keeps them from getting rowdy as they're walking through the neighborhood, don't it?
So I was wondering if you work on a goat, does he become a baby ox?
I don't know. He becomes mad and disappointed.
And frustrated.
You folks interested in animal husbandry, this is not a good source for information.
Oh, never lost a goat though.
Well, I never have lost one
They
either.
especially do not like turpentine.
Ooh. That could hurt.
That's what you used to douse them with. if you didn't
How long did it take them to stop running?
if he didn't leave the county.
You had to have a pretty good fence before you doused them, didn't you?
Oh. That's what we used to douse them pigs with.
Ooh.
You heard about the woman was having trouble delivering this baby, and this little kid said, all you gotta do is put some turpentine on her stomach. The midwife says, what do you mean put turpentine on her stomach? I'll have a patch of baby. He says, most certainly will. She said, how do you know that? He says, I put some on a dog's rear end, and he paced the motorcycle. Folks, excuse us. We enjoy. You know, we got so old sometimes we're like that bunch in jail.
Yeah, we are ought to be there. Yeah.
You know, this guy went in jail, and they sat around at night, and they'd heard the joke so many times that they just called out a number.
Yeah.
And said 18, everybody just laughed.
Yeah.
I'll get out. And somebody called out another number, they'd laugh. We sat around through several sections of that. Then one night he thought he'd call out a number. He called out 18. Nobody laughed. Nobody said anything. Asked his buddy, says, look, last week fella called out 18, everybody just laughed. He said, I called out 18, nobody laughed at all. He said, yeah, said some people know how to tell a joke and some people don't.
Hello. Yeah. Folks,
Have we wasted an hour yet?
not hardly, but I guess we could call it quits if you want to. We got all the commercials.
I ain't got no more dirty jokes.
We're out of dirty
Well,
jokes.
we'll tell them some of the things I got up there and some of the
Why don't you
things
tell them some of the things you got there, and I'll tell them some of the things I've got down here.
Well, I got one less propane tank, no, two less propane tanks. I sold one this afternoon, just sold Ronnie one.
I ain't seen this. It better be a good
I
one.
do have another used 100-gallon, 100 pound, whatever, what is it, 100 pound? Yeah, 100 pound. And I've got several 20-pounders, and you get 5 of them, you got a 100-pounder too. I've got...
Couldn't I have a 100-pound tank out there on my fueling system and maybe a 30-pound tank too, and when my 100 runs out, I can hook the 30 up to do me till I get the 100 back?
You can open them up in success. Yeah, you can do that.
That way I don't have to. That way I don't have to be hauling a 100-pound tank.
Yeah.
I may just do that.
Yeah, that's what I do rather than getting say 200.
Yeah, this fella told me there's another 100-gallon, 100-pound tank that I gave him. He's going to give it back to me, but I don't see why I can't just have 100 and a little one. That'll keep me from freezing to death.
You can get you a 30 or 40.
Oh, I've got a whole pile of them. There's a 20, and over here's a 40.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah. That'd be good. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use one 100, and then I'm going to use a 40 and or a 30, one or the other, and just switch them, you know. And that way that 30 will last a couple of weeks or better.
Well, I'm going to go propane, and I've got a propane cooker, and I'm going to have propane heat, and Digger will like me, and the electric company will be mad at me, but I don't care.
Right. I'm looking for a good propane refrigerator.
I'd like to have one of them, too. I had one, but it bit to dust.
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 of them that's bit to dust, you know.
If I had me one of them, I'd be in business. Of course, I don't know. In the wintertime, you don't really need a refrigerator if you've got a...
All you need is, well, you can use
All you
the
need-
icebox, leave the door open.
Yeah, all you need is a shelf.
Shelf space is all you need.
And what else you got besides propane tanks?
I got a couple of iron beds, and these are not tin beds, and these 2 beds I have, both of them were made before the turn of 1900s. They were made in the 1800s.
I bet George Washington slept in them.
And possibly. I'm asking 100 apiece for them, and if you go online, you cannot buy the rails that fit these beds for less than 100.
If you need an old iron bed, Bob's the guy to see.
They're not tin beds, they're iron beds.
In other words, they heavy.
I got a full size and I've got a half bed.
Look at it like this. If you can't use it for nothing else, you can use it for a boat anchor.
Yeah, you go. Or you might want to teach your wife to swim, hooked to one of them.
Yeah. Honey, you can swim with this. It's good exercise.
I've got washers and dryers. I got one refrigerator left. Sold one today. And I'm gonna say, I bought the refrigerator off of the guy several months ago that I'm selling it back to, and he does not know that was his refrigerator. I've painted it and I've cleaned it up and everything, you know. It runs perfect, you know. And it's a good looking refrigerator.
Well, he'll know it now.
Huh?
He'll know it now.
I don't think so. I'll tell him he'll come down.
What else you got?
Oh, I've got what all have I got? A couple of weed eaters.
I got a couple of weed eaters.
Yeah, and I'm selling my automatic ones now. And I've
got them organic
all kind
weed eaters. They run on
all kind of baby items and nightstands, and I've got I got a nice computer desk and a computer cabinet, and I don't know what all. I got plenty of stuff. Just come on up.
Well, I've got lumber, vinyl siding, linoleum, metal roofing, dog houses. What else I got? Oh yeah, buildings. Got complete buildings, doors, windows.
Got a mighty fine truck camper shell.
Yep. Got one of them too for a short bed Chevrolet, full size.
Up to a 90 model.
Up to a 90 model.
I think.
He thinks. It's for sale.
Yeah. Right.
And Bob will tell you what a wonderful camper top it is.
Yeah.
We ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow night on WLAF at 8 o'clock and also here on the internet.
And we will have a complete analysis of this here newspaper thing Bob got here.
I'm going to let you take it home and analyze.
No, I don't read them big numbers. I get lost in that kind of stuff.
But I think if you look it over close, everything I've said is accurate.
Well, I think so too. That's why I let you say it instead of me. You get it right.
It's accurate.
Happy trails, folks.